Hey, it's Bridget. All right, fairy grasshoppers, we need to have a conversation. So I did a Sunday morning coffee on Above Life channel about courage. And then I proceeded to do a channeling session with Robin Williams about courage, but he added the tagline, courage to be yourself. So I thought we should do something on Fairy Grasshopper about courage. So I'm thinking some of the things that came up in the channeling with Robin Williams, I want to go deeper about. I'm also thinking that some of those topics might also be a great Sunday morning coffee. And I love podcasting. Have you noticed that? I really enjoy that. I'm actually toying with the idea of doing like a live stream podcast on Fairy Grasshopper. But I'm not sure because I know consistency is key. And I've had some challenges going through a lot of stuff internally and trying to keep a consistent schedule here on Fairy Grasshopper has been challenging. I like to have at least 2 videos up here a week. And I've been trying to do that, but I've been struggling to do that. So I'm hoping to do something more consistent. What do you think about a podcast here on Fairy Grasshopper? Maybe even a live stream one? How do you feel about that? Like we could do intuitive topics, you know? Do you guys have any ideas about that? Do you think that would be a good idea? Let me know. Okay. All right. So today we're going to talk about courage. And what I want to do specifically too is get a couple cards for you, get a little reading going here. Some of the additional topics that came up in the concept of courage, it wasn't about like big, bold, I'm the leader, I have to be super brave and do something massive, monumental, earth-shattering, like take a lot of effort. Courage was more about in the conversation I had on Sunday morning coffee, and also in the conversation I had with Robin Williams about courage was much more about the understanding of courage as not filling in a gap, but being part of our natural innate compassionate process for ourselves and understanding how courage is a natural part of who we are and a platform that we can stand upon and then express ourselves from, which is when we're more authentic. So courage isn't like this random thing that you're missing and you need to have. It's more of this natural part, organic part of us. And it's really deeply connected to compassion and love. When courage is wrapped in love, it's unstoppable. It's truly the antidote to fear is what came through. Powerful. So there are a couple other pieces that came up that if you're interested in journaling or digging in deeper after you watch Sunday Morning Coffee, Courage, or the channeling with Robin Williams, Courage to be yourself. There are a couple other topics that came in, boundaries. But boundaries was the second piece. I personally really struggle with boundaries, you guys. Very much so. And the first thing that came through though was standards. He was talking about standards. And then with standards came boundaries and then expectations. Expectations is such a tricky word. It feels like either you meet, you rise, or you fall. Like there's no in between when it comes to expectations. Either you're above it or you're below it, which means either you achieve or you fail. That's how expectation feels to me. So I hate that when it's like, what are the expectations here? Like, what do you expect of me is a rational thing to have in conversation with your boss and a project with a teacher, outlining expectations like on a syllabus or with a spouse, like here's the chores, my expectation is you do all these, or with a parent or a child or what have you, you got to be clear and communicate those, right? But at the same time, expectation feels like either you're going to meet them, so you achieve that, you reach that goal, expectation goal, or you fail. I don't like that. There's only 2 options, succeed or fail. Like that sucks. So I struggle also with expectations and boundaries. Oh, Bridget, this is not a good thing if you're a business person. I know. This is not an easy thing if you're a person. And so the topic of standards kind of came in. So I think that's a great thing to write about, standards. What does that mean? Do you hold yourself to high standards? What are the standards or operating standards for how you live? What are the things that are just like no brainers? Like this is like the minimum that I have to have this, like this is a must have, kind of thing. I'm thinking about this in the context of moving. I have a family member that's going to be moving and they're like, okay, so I want this, this, and this in my new place. if I'm going to have to be in the city, I want to have at least have a view, or I want to be able to see the mountains, or I want to be able to see the water, or that kind of thing, like standards, this is my bare minimum kind of a thing. And so standards in a way, I guess, are an expression of expectation, but also sort of a baseline way to determine whether or not something is acceptable or not acceptable to you. Oh, interesting. That's interesting. We had to talk about that in Sunday Morning Coffee. See, that would be a good podcast topic. So standards, and then boundaries came through, because as an empath, boundaries is it's such a thing. It's such a thing. And I'm so never good at this piece, because the heart wants what it wants, and boundaries are something that seems negotiable as an empath. And I don't think it should be. And I'm thinking like of my relationships, like with my children. Each one of my kids needs different things from me. They're at different stages of their lives. I have a 12-year-old, a 17-year-old, a 19-year-old, and a soon to be 21-year-old. Oh my God. Can I be that old? Yes, I can be. And they all need different things. They're at different stages of life. They have different lifestyles. They have different needs, and the way that I interact with them and provide for them, or my exchanges with them communication wise, are different, and they each need to be loved differently. And so there's sort of a need for me at times to have boundaries with some of my interactions with my kids, because if I have a child that just wants to stay home all the time from school, I can't say, oh, okay, that's fine. No. This is the way it is, and maybe that's not so much a boundary thing as it is an expectation or a standard, maybe, I don't know. Or boundaries as in, no, I'm not going to give you $150. You work and have a job, and you need to pay for your own stuff, because that's what adulting is. Pay for your own stuff. Don't DoorDash then. Hello. Does anybody have like kids, like college kids that they DoorDash? What the heck is the point of the DoorDash? Okay, I get it. Like, it's Minnesota winter and it's cold and they're going to deliver stuff to your door, but make macaroni and cheese. That's what we did when we were in college. Come on, order a pizza, be old school. Anyway, healthy boundaries. It's tricky, right? It's tricky. And it's hard it's not just about saying yes or saying no to something. It's about when I'm in a situation where the boundaries are tricky, it's more about how to say no, because if I say yes, I am going against what I believe to be the true response for me, honoring me and supporting them in this scenario. And how do I respond then without just saying no, but saying this, like honoring the boundary without just saying no. And you can just say no and then just be done with that. But then there's usually pushback and back and forth. And that back and forth kind of stuff is what stresses me out boundaries wise, which is why I'm not good with boundaries, because then I go, okay, well, let's figure this out. And like one of my kids especially knows she can wear me down, no problem. So I'm like, practicing boundaries. So the courage to stick to what is best for me as a parent, to let them discover, learn, grow, problem solve for themselves without just stepping in and just giving them money or fixing it or arranging for something or what have you, letting them do that. Even if it's messy and it doesn't work out. It's just the way it is, right? Tricky. Okay. All right. So let's talk. That's a lot of stuff in a short video. Sorry about that. Lots of stuff going on, you guys. Okay. So I need cards. Let's use I'm looking at my Kyle Gray cards. I think I'm going to grab those. I've really liked those lately. They're very grounded, aren't they? The Kyle Gray Angels and Ancestors. Let me grab it. Okay. Angels and Ancestors. This card deck looks like this. Green earthy vibe. Okay, this is about courage. We're going to connect with the energy of courage. There's a couple that came up. Courage. Here's one about boundaries. Here's one about standards, and here's one about expectations. Okay, so we got 4. Courage, the arrow. I'm gonna get my glasses on. Let's put my glasses, let's put my specs on so we can see. All right. Arrow, surround yourself with protective energy when it comes to courage. Courage is not just a defense, but or an offense. It is the energy vibration that connects with your heart and creates a platform of grounded energy and compassion. And I feel like that's kind of what this is about. Surrounding yourself with protective energy isn't because you're afraid necessarily. It's because you're emanating this energy of a courageous, loving presence. And it takes a lot of courage to be just loving and hold yourself in the energy space of love and self-love and let that emanate from you. Because I think sometimes we're afraid to show up too much as ourselves, because if we do, it might be overwhelming for other people, or we might get feedback that we're so light or so bright or so filled with love that other people are attracted to us, like magnetized to us, and they might take from us. And in the past, that's made us feel bad, like a victim, or like people take advantage of us. So the arrow energy feels like surrounding yourself with protective energy is about the balance of all parts of who you are: body, mind, heart, and soul. So this kind of represents like a compass. Do you see the energy of the compass? The arrow is the north-south energy. And the north is your North Star, the direction in which you're going, what matters most to you, being on purpose for you, being in your center. This is like an alignment energy, this arrow. It's the soul, the pranic tube of the spine. It's you knowing, as above, so below. Energetically, you are the pillar of light. You are the alignment. You are the center source point. And then the base of that arrow is the direction of south, which is earth, home energy, home energy. All right, see that? Beautiful, nice breath in. Exhale out, courage. Courage is like the arrow, keeping you in alignment. Next one is about boundaries, and we get the trader card. Exchange energy to create abundance. Trader as in not traitor, but trader as in exchange, right? Energetic exchange. Boundaries. So boundaries isn't one-sided. When you say no, it's because you're saying yes to yourself or to something else. When you say no to one thing, it's because you've said yes already to another. It's balancing your commitments. So you're trading the energies, you're moving the energies around. So boundaries is not about something stagnant like a fence or a barricade. It is not just about this, like, it's not about like this shelter place, okay? It's not about a hard line. Boundaries is a moving, flowing, vibrant energy like the cosmos, like the flow of the constellation of the stars, like that, like a flowing energy. So trading is exchanging the energy. In a boundary situation, that's exactly what's happening. So you are the trader. You are the one that is determining what value is for what exchanging. And that's what the boundaries provide. The question of the value and where best to focus your energy and efforts on. Okay. And you have choice at that. You are at choice. Okay. So the next one is standards. Oh, standards. Yes, standards. Oh, cool. Spring, your seed. See your seeds grow. Look at this energy. Looks like a rabbit. Spring rabbit. This is like abundance energy. This is also March. Spring equinox is in March. This might be a nod to a birthday, actually. I feel like it's somebody's birthday. Standards. In the springtime, we have kind of this common standard of renewal. The energy opens up, things start to be born, there's new beginnings, there's a fresh start. And so it feels as though standard is kind of connected to seasons or a cycle. And so there's this acknowledgement here. I'm getting this real intuitive information here, real psychic info here coming in about how to recognize that you are changing. Your life is seasonal. You will go through cycles, and at different times you'll feel different ways, and you will need to change and adjust your standards. The standard of living might change, maybe to no fault of your own. You could have something happen like a job loss, etc., or a relocation. Or you might be at a point where you're moving out of your house because your kids are all gone out of the house and you have this great big house and you want to move so that into something smaller so you can travel or that kind of a thing. Like your standard of living, your standard of interaction can change and adjust. And it also can change and adjust as you learn more about yourself and what you will not accept anymore in relationship or from life. Because you don't just have to take everything that comes at you. You can say no. You can let things pass by you. Whoa, let that one go right on by. Walk on by, walk on, keep on walking, like that kind of vibrational energy. All right. Fresh start, new standards. Springtime, new standards. Nice. Okay. Then we have, for finale, we have expectations. This is the sun energy, the solar energy, and joy, success, and happiness. Expectations. Expect to be happy. Solar energy is divine masculine for me. It's the sun god Lu or Ra. This energy is very Egyptian for me. It reminds me of just a sourceful solar plexus, the spirit being on purpose. This energy is very dominant as far as determined. It's like determined. The sun energy is determined to create that which is possible for you and whatever you're dreaming and manifesting. So it's important to allow yourself to be open to happiness, right? So allow yourself to be open to happiness. It goes back to kind of this energy of when I was talking about expectations before. It's like either you achieve, you succeed, or you fail. And so coming back kind of to this energy of expectations, that's kind of how the sun, the solar energy feels like. So powerful, so light, so filled with hope energy that when it's not there and it's dark or it's the night, it can be misinterpreted as the absence of the sun, but really it's a time for rest. So it's just a balancing out kind of a factor. It's not a failure. Nighttime is not the failure of the sun. Okay. It is the acknowledgement of the balance and the honoring the boundaries, right? And the standard through which we move through our lifetime, where there's a day and there's a night and there's a balance here. So I love this sun energy. All right. So this is Bridget. That is your card reading about courage today. I hope that has inspired your spirit and filled you with hope. Make sure you check out the playlist on Above Life channel, YouTube, and watch the Sunday Morning Coffee about courage. It was a live stream, so it's actually a video. And then check out the Robin Williams playlist. There is going to be, if it's not up now, it will be in the next coming week or two, the channeling about courage to be yourself with Robin Williams in the afterlife. All right. So this is Bridget. Thanks so much for being here. I look forward to connecting with you on Bridget Inspired Instagram, Bridget Inspired on Facebook. If you want a reading or a session with me, well, it's not really a reading. It's different than that. I do intuitive coaching work. So it's very interactive, energetic, and engaging. It's not just like Q&A stuff. That is so boring. Got to be more interesting than that. And you can, though, book a session with me if you'd like to see what it's like to work with me. You can do that at Bridget Inspired on Facebook. There's a little booking button. You can do a one-time session with me and see what that's like. And then I usually do receive people into monthly consistent sessions. I usually do like a minimum of 3 months sessions. So